Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. We'll be here for SportsCenter with all your normal post-game activities. Golden State, a scrimmage on Wednesday, which included 3 key members of the bench, Iguodala, Porter, and Payton. The 3 participated in contact work for the first time since they were injured. They're being listed as questionable for Game 1. Iguodala, one of 4 Warriors who've been on all 6 of the teams who made it to the finals. Some thoughts from Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Steve Kerr on getting back to the biggest stage in the sport.
Pretty impressive that, it all has come together the way it has over the course of the season. I think there was even probably a surprise that we started out this season the way we did. I think we were 18-2 at one point. And I don't think we even understood that it would kind of click that quickly. We got 4 more wins to make it all worth it, but it's a good feeling.
To be back for a 6th time, it's incredible. It's even incredible just saying that. I never really thought that was a possibility my rookie year. It's just great. I'm just going to enjoy every second of this and, play as hard as I can, and then you can walk away with no regrets.
It's a little different vibe, but it's still, really exciting to be part of, just knowing that, this is the pinnacle. This is what we're all trying to accomplish. So to be back here again is an amazing feeling.
Very different in terms of experience on the Boston side. Celtics held practice Wednesday. They arrived in San Francisco yesterday. Looks like they'll have the full squad for Game 1. Marcus Smart, Rob Williams listed as questionable. Both fellas said they're ready to go. Part of a roster that's never made it to the finals, any of them. Their leading scorer, Jason Tatum, made sure to do something wise. Let's soak in the moment.
It's a surreal feeling. And sometimes you got to pinch yourself. Right, I walk in, I see this backdrop, and it's like, damn, I am in the finals. So I'm just trying to take all this in and just enjoy the moment.
We have guys that are young but have been through a few Eastern Conference Finals already, and then our path this year, 2 Game 7s and playing some high-level teams and taking a tough route. I think that's prepared us more than anything. What's really been good about our group is they're not caught up in the moment. The Game 7s, playing on the road, you see our record. And more so than anything, it's just basketball. At the end of the day, that's what we try to stress, and I think that's the benefit of our group being so young and approaching it that way.
These numbers are legitimately fascinating to me. The analytic models, they don't like Boston, they love them. ESPN's Basketball Power Index gives Boston an 86% chance to win the series. Likewise, 538 stands at 80%. Meanwhile, Caesars Sportsbook in Vegas, they have a completely opposite favorite. The Warriors are minus 155. And Tim Legler joins us now. And Tim, I'm going to get to who you like in the end. But when you're analyzing a series, what kind of information, what kind of data are you leaning into to help you arrive at a conclusion and who you like?
For me, Scott, I'm not going to get there and crunch the numbers too much. I'm going to look at the eye test, and I'm going to look at the strength of both teams. And in this particular matchup, it's pretty easy because you're talking about a Celtics defense against the Warriors offense. So I look at which one, in my mind, carries more weight. And I just think the weight of the Warriors offense, the depth, the firepower, the style of play, and the way that it empowers so many guys on their roster to play great offensively. And for me, that's going to outweigh even a great Celtics defense, because you've got to remember also, Warriors aren't too shabby on the other end of the floor. This is one of the best defensive teams in the postseason as well. But I just think that offense, to me, carries a greater weight than the versatility, depth, and physicality of the Celtics defense.
If we're looking at the path and you're accumulating credit for who you beat and how you got there, clearly who the Celtics went through, you'd give them the nod. But I wonder, does that at all factor into sort of how you view this, the path that either team took?
It doesn't really for me. Look, there's no question that Boston's resume, if you will call it, in this postseason is stronger for a variety of reasons. You take out the Nets with 2 stars, you take out the Bucks, the defending champs with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then you get a very tough Miami Heat team, although they were banged up. That's a greater resume than what Golden State accomplished when you look at it. But it doesn't matter to me, because I think ultimately when I look at the Golden State Warriors and the way that they play, it's unlike anything Boston has dealt with to this point.
As a guy that won a 3-point contest, I want you to view this next portion of the segment like questions on a rack. You can just pull quickly because it's pretty straightforward. As we look at the finals, Tim, it'd be great for the Celtics if what?
Their role players match the three-point shooting of Golden State's role players. It's that simple. You know Steph and Clay are going to hit a bunch, Tatum and Brown as well. So those role players have to go toe-to-toe with Golden State's.
It's a giant problem for Boston if what happens?
If they get beat up on the offensive glass and chaos points ensue because Golden State crushes you on those second chance three-point shots and transition, which are also chaos type of possessions, if you get hit with barrages there, I don't think Boston's going to have a chance in this series. You got to be careful.
Pretty simple concept. Here we go on the other side. For Golden State, it's great if what happens?
Klay Thompson finds an early rhythm. Scott, I think he's the tipping point for them. When he plays well offensively, I think they're unbeatable because what he does is very difficult to account for defensively because it's so quick and so decisive, and it's very difficult to adjust their game plan for where he's going to be because there's a randomness to it, and it's out of his hand that quickly. So if he gets hot early, big problem, I think, for Boston.
Big problem for Golden State. No good if what happens?
If Wiggins or Green get in foul trouble in any of these games, I think it's a problem. Wiggins has got to be the primary defender on Tatum. Klay can do a good job on him. It's not the same as Wiggins with his length. And then Draymond Green, because of his communication and the ground that he covers, which is going to be so important rotating back out to the three-point line once he helps on Tatum and Brown. So if those guys are off the floor for an extended period of time, that's a real problem for Golden State.
Nobody's smarter about this than you are. Nobody's sharper when it comes to the insight. So in the end, all anyone wants to know is who's Tim Legler like to win and in how many games?
Well, you can probably figure it out. I like Golden State, and I like it in 7. I think they're undefeated at home in the postseason. I think they get that 7th game back at home, and they take care of business.
All right. Boston's already endured a couple of Game 7s. Golden State hadn't had to play nearly as many games. We'd love a long, entertaining series. We're going to work until sometime in July. Let's enjoy it, Tim. I look forward to talking throughout the finals, all right? But they have played some compelling games over the past few seasons. The names and faces may change, but the common denominator, incredible games. This is 2015. The Warriors are 23-0. Steph Curry hits the 3 to put the Warriors up 2. Isaiah Thomas blocked by Sean Livingston. A game that actually go to double overtime. In double overtime, Leandro Barbosa with a miss. Andre Iguodala with a putback. The Warriors would win to move to 24-0. They would lose in their next game against Milwaukee. Second matchup of that season, the spring, it was in April. Warriors were 37-0 at home. Curry hits that to make it a 2-point game. Evan Turner hit the bucket to put Boston up 4. Curry, great look to tie. No, it rattles out. Harrison Barnes, a step back. No. That ended the Warriors' 54-game home winning streak. That's an insane stat in the NBA. Fast forward a couple seasons, it's 2018. Kyrie, the handle. Gets past Kyrie Irving for the hoop. Put Golden State up 3. Irving. Wow, with a left off the window. He had 37 in this game. The Celtics led by 1 in the end. Too much Curry. He had 13 points in the final minute and 42 seconds, which doesn't seem possible. He finished with 49. The Warriors won by 4. April of 2021, Warriors in Boston. Under 2 to go in the first half. Curry. It's the big bucket before the half. It's a 3-point lead under 5 in the game. Curry had 47 in this. Golden State up 6. Jason Tatum, corner 3. And then in a 111 game, there goes Tatum down the lane. He finished with 44 and 10, and the Celtics win this one by 5. Most recent matchup, it's March of this year. Of course, that was a play that Steve Kerr called a dangerous play. Hurt Curry, he was out for a bit. Jaylen Brown would lead the way with 26. Celtics rolled. They split the season series, each one of the others. Building NBA Finals Thursday night, 9 Eastern. Game 1 coverage tips, NBA Countdown, 8:30 Eastern. We'll be here with SportsCenter after the game. It's our time of year, Mark Spears. It's June on the calendar. It's the NBA Finals. We're thrilled to welcome back our friend, senior NBA writer Mark Spears. And Mark, you had an opportunity to visit with Draymond Green, who I think is one of the more interesting athletes in sports. He's a thinker. He's a talker. He doesn't hide a whole lot. What was most interesting and notable in your estimation of this conversation y'all shared?
Yeah, you definitely have to have your brain ready when you speak to Draymond Green. And one thing he told me is they've never lost in the finals when they're whole. And he doubled down on that really strongly. So what does he mean by that? Well, in 2016, he gets suspended for a game. Andrew Bogut gets hurt. They lost to the Cavaliers. Obviously, in 2019, with Kevin Durant, he's injured, Clay's injured. The team was so bad that Boogie Cousins told me it was like, who's going to die next? It felt like a horror movie. Those were the two losses. Other than that, the Warriors have won. So Draymond feels like as long as their team is whole, they're going to win a championship. And will this team be whole? Well, looks like Andre Iguodala could be back, Gary Payton, and Porter. So if Draymond says is right, then it looks like the Warriors are going to win another title.
They're certainly closer to whole than they've been at any point in these playoffs, it would appear. And they've certainly, Mark, got far more experience than Boston. Boston's got nobody that's played in the finals. And yet, as we welcome Jason Tatum to the biggest stage in the sport, in a sense, this isn't his first time there. Explain why.
Well, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that Larry Hughes, the former NBA player, is actually Jason Tatum's godfather? Jason's father, Justin, actually played with Larry Hughes in high school, and they've been best friends for years. So when the Cavaliers, that included an injured Larry Hughes, played in the 2007 NBA Finals, a young Lil J, as they called him, was able to attend games 3 and 4. He also went to the practices, watched Larry get treatment, and got time playing one-on-one against LeBron James and Drew Gooden. So although Jason Tatum has not actually played in the NBA Finals, he's been in 2 games as a spectator and been behind the scenes with his amazing godfather, Larry Hughes.
Man, and now it's wild, isn't it, when you see the pictures of these kids? They're babies, man. And now here you got a guy and Tatum and Brown, they're young.